From sedentary to sustainable, a healthier future for work. We often think of work as productive, but what if the way we work is slowly destroying our health? Although long work hours are viewed as normal in today's society, it is actually contributing to widespread sedentary lifestyles. Humans are paying the price both physically and mentally every day without realizing it, and workplaces must adopt policies that encourage healthier routines and reduce prolonged sitting. Not only does this affect adults in the workplace, but even students in school. The majority of our everyday lives are spent sitting at a desk, whether that be working or studying. These habits have become normalized and it needs to come to an end. Between my own experience, as well as watching my family and peers struggle with exhaustion and burnout, I've realized our lack of motivation does not come from laziness, but because our modern day culture demands nonstop sitting and productivity. Americans are sacrificing quality of life in order to meet the unrealistic demands of society, and today I'll be discussing the extent of these effects, as well as a policy that can be put in place to protect both our productivity and health working time regulations. This problem becomes clear when we examine the repercussions humans face and how it can lead to a lifetime of health risks. The first problem is long work hours and how they contribute directly to sedentary lifestyles. Sedentary living increases the risk of long-term disease and chronic conditions. My first piece of evidence is an example, and researchers analyzed 13 studies of sitting time and activity levels among more than 1 million people. They found that people who sat for more than 8 hours a day with no physical activity had a risk of dying similar to the risk posed by obesity and smoking, but 60 to 75 minutes of moderate aerobic physical activity a day offset the effects of too much sitting, and this came from the Mayo Clinic. Statistics like these are more than numbers, and they are warning about the harm our bodies undergo every single day when sitting becomes our default, and the damage does not stop when the workday ends. Here's my first visual aid, and it shows that 86% of workers sit for the entire workday. My second problem is the stress that comes along with working long hours and how this triggers unhealthy coping mechanisms, and people turn to quick comfort instead of healthy routines. By the time most people get home from work, they're already drained of energy and motivation, and they often choose activities like watching TV or scrolling on their phones. My second piece of evidence is shift workers are more likely to engage in unhealthy behaviors based on reports of higher incidence of smoking and alcohol intake, together with higher BMI and lower physical activity levels. Such behaviors and habits are linked with work schedules, as work schedules inevitably dictate free time. And physical activity slowly becomes optional instead of routine. This is extremely detrimental, as exercise is crucial to sustain a balanced and healthy lifestyle. Now that it has been made out as a luxury, people start to feel disconnected from themselves and the more likely to choose immediate relief and make decisions based on stress-induced behaviors. Now that we have seen how harmful a sedentary lifestyle can be, the next step is exploring how we can reduce the dangers. And here's a poll that they did, and whether people want to continue or stop with the reduced working hours. Legal policies can be put in place that cap excessive work hours or even require flexible scheduling. And I think the most beneficial way to resolve this matter is implementing a 4-day work week. The United Kingdom constructed a 4-day work week trial consisting of 61 companies and 2,900 workers. This took place from June to December in 2022, and the results are eye-opening as they reveal the strategy could put an end to sedentary living. Here's a statistic and personal account. Some of the most extensive benefits of shorter working hours were found in employees' well-being. Before and after data shows that 39% of employees were less stressed and 71% had reduced levels of burnout at the end of the trial. Likewise, levels of anxiety, fatigue, and sleep issues decreased, while mental and physical health both improved. The same article adds a personal statement from the founder and director of the movement, Joe Royal, And he said, across a wide variety of different sectors of the economy, these incredible results show that the four-day week with no loss of pay really works. And this proves that sedentary lifestyles are not inevitable and do not result in less money being made. Other countries are little representations that the healthier work structures are possible as well as attainable. And now that we have a solution at hand, let's reflect on why this issue matters and what we must take away from it. Today we explored why sedentary lifestyles are becoming so common and the dangers they pose, as well as how shorter work weeks can help reverse this trend. If we continue to ignore this problem, we risk silently damaging our health and shaping a future where preventable diseases becomes the norm, and a sedentary life should not be the cost of success.